right, I'm going to use the current situation of my car getting repoed as an opportunity to show you guys how astrology really does work in the overall spectrum of things. So the center wheel there is my natal chart. The second wheel out is my progressions. That's when we move the planets one day for each year of your life. As those progressions move, it starts to kind of trigger off your natal aspects and the events that are in your natal chart here. Progressed moon being the most important. As you can see, it just moved into Aquarius here a few days ago, and it is currently in a square to my natal Venus. Car getting repoed is totally on the table with that one, because that square is a conflict. Now Pluto here has already made a square to my natal Venus twice since February. Second time was a little rough. The first one was the major one. That's when I quit my job and said, screw this, I'm not doing this anymore. And it's got one more pass to go here in, I believe it ended November. But what's really important to look at here, and what really keeps me going on my path instead of me freaking out and doing what I've always done in the past and just try and find anything and everything to make as much money as possible, it's that, see, I have Mars, progressed Mars right here is in a trine to my natal Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. In my natal chart, that is a square between those two. Transiting Mars is over there in conjunction with the moon, which is in opposition to my natal Mars. So that T-square where I have the Mars ascendant conjunction and moon descendant conjunction in a square to my natal Jupiter-Saturn conjunction up there in the 9th house, this is creating, it's getting very triggered because it's not only being activated by progressions and transits, but it's being activated by a planet that is included in that natal aspect. So that is hugely being triggered off right now. So there's a lot of conflict going on, a lot of pushback on what I'm trying to do. I am doing my damnedest to build a career as a professional astrologer. I have a very small clientele right now, so obviously I'm not making a ton of finances at it, but I am finding my happiness in it. I'm finding myself in it, and I'm very excited to continue to keep going on it. As time goes on, though, I know that there's going to be some pullbacks. I'm likely to see a little bit of growth here shortly when transiting Jupiter moves into a trine with my midheaven there. But it's going to station retrograde in a trine there. And it's going to move backwards. I'm going to have to reassess some things. I'm going to have to see what was missed, what I need to retry, what I need to do a different way before it stations direct and goes back. Once it goes back, that's when things start to unfold a little bit better. Same thing with Saturn. Saturn's going to retrograde back into a trine with my natal Mercury. There's some review that's going to happen there. It tells me what I need to do a little differently. When it stations direct and goes back and hits it again, this is when we close out that. Pluto is moving into one. It's going to square my Venus again. Probably going to be another rough issue that pops up there. But then it moves into a sextile with my natal Sun. That is a really beautiful aspect to have from Pluto, especially when they are both very well aspected in my natal chart. So even though things are rough right now, I can look ahead and I can see how things are unfolding. I can see how when this progressed moon gets into a conjunction with this progressed Mars, I'm likely to see like a big bada boom moment in my life that is going to be very uncomfortable. But I also know that it's going to continue on and start making some nicer aspects and doing nicer things with my chart and helping me move forward on some things, okay? So it's really about understanding what your natal chart says, what kind of events you can likely see, where you're going to see pushback, where you're going to have ease, what kind of opportunities you have to work with, and where things are going to be out of your control, so that as these things start to unfold, you can see the process of where they're going. You cannot freak out when things get a little rough because you can see the next step there. This is quite honestly why I very much love astrology, is that it helps you keep that faith. It helps you keep that hope in those darker times. Being a Sagittarius, that's kind of my thing, you know, delusional optimism is kind of for us. That's what we do. So it's very good to work with. I hope this is helpful. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. don't lose faith because things seem a little tough right now.